No, Act 7.4 for the month of February. Misty Knight and Cap America's Sam Wilson deep dives are now live. Go and check them out. We'll be talking about them in a moment. Is Coleen Wing or Black Cat coming soon? Based on this synergy with Misty Knight and the Mandarin and MCOC by Nick Koss. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions new show for Monday. How you all doing? I'm back from a little bit of a break. I'm ready to hit hard for this week of coverage. It's indeed update week on this channel, so make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe with post notifications on all, and as well keep locked to the channel because we'll be doing all the coverage of the new events coming in, the Mojo's television network, all the other things that are coming on this month, as well as going back to some old guides, which you know, it's going to be really fun as well, doing some stuff on Act 7.3, going back to Act 5 guides, Act 6 guides, you name it. We'll be working hard to get that stuff out to you this month. And also thanks for the massive support that I get from those that are YouTube members and as well Patreons. You're on the screen right now. Appreciate you. Much love. And we should return back to live streaming this week, as I'll be doing some Twitch streaming, doing a little bit of Call of Duty, doing a little bit of Fall Guys, and of course doing a lot of Marvel Contest of Champions. Should be the Cavalier difficulty. I may even do a sneaky little YouTube stream. We'll have to see. But make sure as well, and I should say thank you to those that give the Amazon Prime free subs, those that give the Tier 1 subs, bits, donations, and Tier 2 subs. I'll see you later on for a live stream. We kick off the show by giving some love and appreciation to Nick Koss, who's done this fantastic Mandarin Wenwu. Hopefully I said that right. If not, I apologize. But yeah, it's amazing. Look, I got Iron Man Endgame. We got Mandarin taking on Endgame version of Thor. It's incredibly impressive, and as well I think this is just like one of his best, especially if you look at some of the animations being done by Nick in this one. Like, look at the way that he kind of like takes and sends the rings. Like, look, this is incredibly impressive. I'm not going to reveal any more because you should go over and support Nick Koss and see the full video, but I just wanted to showcase this on the channel to say, like, this is incredibly impressive. Just look at the level of detail and effort that goes into any animation that is created, especially with some of the effects. Sublime. What up, Nick? And now 33.3 release notes. As a lot of you know, on Friday late it dropped the release notes. I was in a hotel and the internet was just shocking. Uploading at like, I think it took like 2 to 3 hours to upload a video that was 10 minutes. It was absolutely diabolical. But I digress. There's a lot of things that were missing, I think, from these release notes, but there's a lot of things that are in there. With a lot of fundamental problems still with the game, and when it looks likely it's going to be a further 2 months before we see any kind of improvement to the input system. The UI was not really mentioned here, which, you know, if a lot of you have kind of like followed the channel, it also followed the release notes previously and the responses from Kabam Zero gave the indication that we would see some improvements to the UI. Because at the moment we've got this kind of like big blank space. In any case, there's nothing really on here, but it could mean that it's kind of like not being announced, and it could be just kind of straight improved. We're not seeing Act 7.4. It gives a lot of kind of endgame players the disappointment of not being able to have some new content to do. Maybe there'll be some surprise kind of stuff like a challenge or something that comes around, like a Grandmaster's Gauntlet type thing. You fingers crossed, but you know, here's the thing. I don't think that we're going to be getting that. But look, for those that want to catch up, and for someone like myself who just wants to see, get a bit more time, I kind of feel this has been a good time. And I do say to a lot of people, if you are kind of thinking to yourself going to your next progression, or it's a case that you're going, right, well, I kind of would be able to catch up with everybody, or go back and do something like Act 6, maybe put that off and go back and do it. The same thing with Abyss of Legends. Then this could be a good opportunity to do it. And I've seen lots of people out on Twitter and various places that are going, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I think that's great. It's great to be able to catch up with everybody. And if you've done everything in game and going, oh, what should I do? And you don't want to grind units, I don't know, play a different game. That's probably the best thing. Try and kind of expand out. And that's what I try to do to kind of keep my interest with MCOC, is not rush and get everything done, but have stuff to come back to like once a week, or maybe even once a month to do within game. Depends how you want to play the game, casually or not so casually. There's going to be some other stuff which I don't think is too important, especially with updated story milestone screen. Yeah, I just don't think there's anything like too major. There's a improvement with Storm's champion portrait, and there's a few other kind of like bug fixes as well. So that's good, I guess. There's a few things not on here, which was the Ghost recoil bug. That's the one with the synergy with Hood. That's interacting with the recoil mastery. So that's something that's not been on the list to get done. Hopefully that's something that's been sorted out next month. But we'll have to see what happens when the update goes live. Will it be today? Will it be tomorrow? Possibly, probably not. No champion buffs. Bit of a kind of a glum start to the year for a lot of people, but you know, we still got the monthly side quests and monthly content to do. Once you do that, hopefully Kabam have got something to whet our appetites. And now we move on to the fantastic deep dives and see about Misty Knight. Now, Misty Knight seems to have a good amount of damage, especially on rotation. It's actually a really cool signature ability. I mean, you've got these investigations that you've got to do, which you can see on screen right now. I'll be doing a full kind of breakdown in later on today on this, and as well incorporating elements of the deep dive. Also looking at just like, well, what makes this champion tick? There's a really good signature ability, which I'm going to put on screen right now, which gives in effect the kind of interaction with other champions. If you go against science champions, purifies all debuffs, and her instant purification chance jumps to 100%. And this is after 27 seconds. So it's kind of like, I can't imagine the longer you stay in the fight, the better it is with these investigations. Doing things like a disorient debuff on cosmic champions, suppression debuff on mystic champions. On tech, if the opponent has 2 or more armor up buffs, when Misty's special attack 1 connects, a second armor break is applied. So that's good. I mean, there seems to be like some elements of utility here with the highly signatured version. It's just really kind of finding out what makes this champion tick, so to speak, and especially the ramp up of damage, which is done by doing these investigations, which just can come from doing actions, from doing like parry or whatever, and the element of damage that you can do is going to be very important. Now, it's the punch and the crunch really with the damage. It's going to be relatively important. I mean, on screen right now, it doesn't really look like it's a huge amount of punch. You are relying effectively on that that cold snap or frostbite or whatever it is right there, building rapidly and building in quite high proximity and volume, mainly volume. That has a good rotation of 93k. So it's actually not too bad. My concern is that could be a rank 3 6-star version right there. So with that kind of like that implication of going, okay, well now that's that damage right there, and then it's like, okay, well then we've got to rotate around to kind of do that again. Once you've got to that certain point, it's then the case of like, okay, well let's build and build and build again to that cold based damage. Okay, now let's move on to Captain America Sam Wilson. It does seem that there's been some elements of things taken from Falcon and kind of adapted, because this champion can actually deal with champions that are missed champions. So if you want to find a counter to Ebony Maw, then you've got that miss failed. This is also like a good option to take against Gwen Master, especially if you're not too sharp when it comes to the elements of the plot armor, where you know you hit and the champion misses. So it's kind of the Invisible Woman type one. So that's good. So that at least kind of allows you some kind of counter. There also looks like there's incredibly cool damage with the SP2. I mean, just look at that. Look at that. All those armor buffs got absorbed, and you're able to kind of do a great amount of damage. It's just very, very impressive. The scale up of damage. It's I'm very much looking forward to this this character. I mean, that didn't look so great, but maybe that's the thing of just finding the like the best kind of rhythm. That was an Unawakened 5-star version, so maybe like a 6-star version is going to punch out a lot more. It's just those things of kind of like understanding when you get the champion, are you able to kind of do much more. There's a great amount of critical rating build, which you can see on screen. It's just like starting to kind of like really tick in some nice little damage right there. So it's always something to kind of like go, all right, well, yeah, it does look like it's doing some damage. This is good. Now, I'm really interested in taking this champion out for a spin, especially because trying certain things here, like Red Wing locked on, lasts 2 seconds longer, attack rating is increased by 1357, so it's a 6-star rank 3 version, I want to say, and allows Captain America to inflict rupture through blocks. Now, if that scales with things like Invade, then this could be a really, really punchy champion on that damage, and could be similar to the likes of, well, I don't think it's not technically similar to Massacre, but the idea of going, okay, well, if you're hitting into a block, which it says here as part of this, if that scales in any kind of way with it, with those ruptures, then that could be very, very handy. Further to this, says when an opponent fails, or when their ability fails due to low ability accuracy, an instant rupture inflicted, dealing that. Okay, well, these are handy. There's no extra utility here, but I can imagine the utility and different and improvements of the champion or elsewhere. This could be a good champion counter to Havoc, and that could be open up so many different things, from an Axe 6.3 counter right the way through to just general content options. Just looking at this right here, and this particular section of fight, I mean, this looks good. The ruptures seem to be a good builder. It looks like there's this good kind of damage rotation. It looks like it's punchy, and also at the same time it retains certain things that Captain America should have, which is amazing block proficiency, which is forming, yes, a great counter. And as well, look, yeah, a great strife counter at the same time, especially with that signature ability working in with champions that miss, which is great. Now, I don't want to spend all my time kind of like reviewing this and kind of looking over this, because it's something that I want to do later on today, and also incorporate some of the footage when I look at the spotlight. So tune in for those videos later on as well. But funnily enough, the synergies did come under question, I think it was the last 24 hours, and that is the fact that we could be seeing a new champion coming in the future, which could have some ties to the Heroes for Hire. Now, this could go one of two ways. I'm definitely short on one of them, but you know, it could be one or the other. And of the Heroes for Hire, it could be Coleen Wing and it could be Black Cat. Now, there are loads and loads of members of the Heroes for Hire. Like, take your pick. I mean, currently there's even Paladin, but I've got to be honest, based on the popularity, the interest, and also, if I remember rightly, there is from the narrative roadmap, there is going to be a story that's going to be coming at some point in some sort of association with Spider-Man in some capacity, I think, but it could be like the following year. That's just the thing. From a popularity standpoint, like, Black Cat makes more sense. You do have some others here like Black Widow, Elektra, Falcon, Gargoyle, Humbug, Iron Fist, Misty Knight, which obviously still a member, Orca, Paladin, who's also a member at the moment, Shang-Chi, Shroud, Silver Sable. Silver Sable, that actually is not too much of a ridiculous shout. That could be a thing, especially, let's see, affiliations, Wolfpack, which is Heroes for Hire, Outlaws, Shield, Silver Set, International, any relatives? Nobody of great notice, but still, like, you know, Shield, Outlaws, who's in the Outlaws? Well, there's some Spider-Man kind of like villains and associations there on the Outlaws, so it could go in various different directions with that, especially from what and who are in the Outlaws, like Spider-Man, Prowler, Puma, Rocket Racer, Sandman, Will-o'-the-Wisp, Paladin. So yeah, it could go in various different types of directions. I don't think we should necessarily go, it's definitely going to be Coleen Wing and it's definitely going to be Black Cat. It's just those are the more popular two that could be in the game, with Black Cat being the most popular option to be added into the game to have interactions with Spider-Man. But who do you think it is? Put it in the comment section down below. Who do you think it could be from the Heroes for Hire that could be coming to the game at a later date? And now we end the Monday show as we normally do with arena results and predictions for the round 2, which is of Storm and Spider-Man 2099. Okay, results time for the arenas, and this is the information I got from a large portion of the community. So Spider-Man 2099, look, it went a lot more than I thought it was going to go, but that's just how it is. You know, you just don't know the grind habits of players, especially from previous weeks versus this week. With if you put in close to 70 mil, which actually, let's face it, it's probably 70 mil is it, you've got yourself the 6-star Spider-Man 2099. So it's crazy numbers that players are going to be putting in for Spider-Man 2099, maybe on round 2. But look, results as it is, position 290, 5-star, 26 mil. Compare that with 20.1 mil right there, position 491 for the 5-star. And then we got Storm. 66 mil was enough for position 71, which I got my predictions okay for that one. Not with Spider-Man 2099. 5-star version went a little bit, yeah, I think it went kind of like how I kind of thought it was going to go. But yeah, 32 mil is enough for like position 306. So predictions for round 2 of both arenas: 6-star Storm. God, words, Richard. 65 mil for Storm. 30 mil for 5-star Storm. 6-star Spider-Man 2099. 75 mil. Pains me to say that, but sadly, that's the grind habits. Somebody said on the forums that I was part of the reason that these are inflated. I predicted lower, people went higher. Don't come at me with rubbish facts. 5-star Spider-Man 2099, 22 mil. You know, that's fair. If you want to get a cheeky 5-star version of the champion, then hey, I think that's more easier than going for the 6-star, because you would just end up grinding exponentially over what is like 3 days. So it's kind of like, think about yourself, think about your fairness, think about your grind. Yeah, that's been the predictions, and that has been the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Monday. Make sure as well to check out some other content, which will be located on screen right about now, and I'll see you in another video later on today, which will be doing some spotlights with video from the deep dives. Cheers everybody, bye bye.